Hello, everybody. Good to
Oh,
see you. Good to see you. I am going to pin myself up here. All right. Now, today, I want everybody to do something just a little bit different today. I have myself a belt, and don't get any ideas, right? Um, and if you guys have a belt or a sheet, this will come in very, very handy for today. And I actually prefer a sheet. I did bring a sheet in just because overall you can't really, it's hard to see what's going on with it. So I brought the belt just to help everybody out with what I'm going to be going through. And to start things out, um, we're going to be going through some isometrics today to really get the body going. And then we're going to shift to a couple of different micro exercises that should really get you feeling the parts of the body that were maybe difficult to move. Now they're a little bit easier to move and feel a little more free and capable. And we're going to do stuff to work on and notice the balance beforehand and notice the change of balance after, right? And hopefully, if there's some time left over, I wanted to go through a couple of other things that are a little new too. So to start off, we're just going to go through a couple of balance ideas. So I'm going to back up here and go on the green here so everyone can see me. Take my belt, set it here. First thing is we're just going to explore the feet, the edges of the feet, make sure that you feel centered and that you can feel if you're choosing the ball of the foot or the heel or the inside or the outside. So just acknowledge what's going on with the feet to start. Just as you're standing here, just what are the feet going through? So you're just going to stand still and see if you can balance out your weight between both feet. If you need the feet a little closer to do that or farther apart, and just acknowledge what's all happening in the system, right? So go from your feet and slowly trace that to your ankles and see if you can feel what your ankles are going through as you're kind of shifting lightly side to side and how it's being controlled. And then from there, what's happening at the knee, and then slowly what's happening at both hips. Do they feel like they're at the same level, or do you feel like one side is a little cockeyed, or what's going on there, right? Is it more of a front to back thing, or is it more of a side to side thing? What's all happening? And then trace that up to your spine, feel where that's balancing or aligning. And then take that all the way through your shoulders. And then your neck. Now, as your head goes down, I want you to feel the ball of the foot. And as your head goes up, I want you to feel your heels. I want you to be confident with the heels. And now head neutral. Okay. Now from here, we're going to do stuff on the ground to feel what the hips are all going through. And I want you to put in your memory bank of how the feet felt as you were just balancing on both feet, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to have this down a little bit to get a little bit better view of this. We're very simply going to start with just a leg raise. And when I'm doing this, I'm barely going to lift the leg up. I want to see how easy it feels to lift the leg up and then back down. If it feels easy, that's great. Then try to take it a little bit higher. Just notice how that feels. Like when I start out, you can tell that right here is really easy. I start getting a little higher and I'm actually shaking a little bit. A little bit of hip flexion right there that I got to work on. And I'm going to show you how we're going to work on that in a little bit. I just want you to acknowledge what feels easy and when your leg starts to shake a little bit. Okay. Now switch legs to see if that's the same on both sides or not. And slowly raise up. This one's pretty smooth. It's a little more difficult for me to keep my knee straight, so I'm going to work on keeping the knee straight. Now I want you to pay attention to the hip control and then the knee control. See what feels different. If you're focusing on the hip, does the knee feel like it's stable, or does it feel like you lose control over it? And then if you switch focus to the knee, does it add stability and control to both? And it should be really light. Good. Now we're going to do the side. We're going to be on your side. We're going to do the same thing to the side. So I'm going to relax my head. And from here, I'm just going to see how my leg wants to raise up, nice and smooth. It's very simple, very controlled. Doesn't take much. It should be effortless. And if it's really tough, I want you just to acknowledge it and put it in your memory banks for now. And 2 more. Good. Now let's switch sides. Feel like you're nice and straight, and the toes pointed straight ahead, almost like you could see the seam down your pant leg. You're going to cut that seam with the leg right in half, right down your ankle. And just feel the whole leg and the hip just working. See if it feels smooth or any different from the other side. Like right now, my left side feels a little more challenging than my right side. I'm just aware of that. Now we're going to work on stomach. We're going to see how well the leg raises up straight versus bent knee, and just see see how all these pieces fit together. So from here, I'm going to raise my left leg and slowly back down. And does it feel smooth? Does it feel difficult? Where in my leg do I feel it? I can really feel my hamstrings and my glute on my left side. And I can feel a little bit in my right back, stabilizing my trunk when I do that left leg raise. And I'm going to switch sides. And this one feels pretty difficult. You can feel my hip. Can't really feel my opposite back working like the other side. Now starting to loosen up actually. No, really good. Now take your sheet or buckle, right? Your belt, and you're going to basically put it around your thighs. We're going to work through some isometrics now. And as we work through these isometrics, it's going to be something where you want this belt to be pretty close to your pelvis. You don't want it far down, because if we're going far down, we get all these funky angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this really, really close to my hip, as close as I can get while it's still on my thighs, so I get this different angle, right? So I'm going to put it fairly tight, and I'm going to remember which ones felt a little difficult, because that's what we're going to challenge right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to challenge the legs that were difficult with as light as we possibly can go in the challenge direction. So for me, and we can start out, if you don't remember, you can start out by just fooling around with both legs and see how it feels. And that's okay too, right? So I noticed that for me, in this whole arrangement, you can be in any position, like on your side, on your back, on your stomach, that you want to start in, but the direction's all the same, right? So the direction will sound like this. For me, I'm going to practice this leg going up, my right leg going up. And I'm going to go as light as I can into the belt for 1 second. 10% of my ability, it's going to go up 1001 and down 1001 and up 1001 and down 1001. So literally I'm trying to straighten the leg and lightly lift up and then relax it. And I should feel that top of this thigh really working. If I'm on my side, it'll look like this. Up 1001 and down 1001. I'm going to need to tighten this a little bit more. Right there. And up 1001 and down 1001. So literally, I'm just trying to lightly raise up so I feel all of this, super, super light, and then drop. I should be on the other side because that was the weak side for me, but just for demonstration purposes. So follow with me along with these repetitions in the very first position that you'd like to choose, right? Of the leg and the hip that was the weakest, but felt the best. Okay, it was weak and it felt the best. So we're going to go to that position. So for me, it's going to be this lateral raise on the left side. It was the one that felt the best, but was the weakest for me. So from here, we're going to start on my count and slowly engage 10%, 1001 and down 1001 and up 1001 and down 1001 and up 1001, completely relax 1001 and up 1001 and relax 1001 and up 1001 and relax 1001 and up 1001 and relax 1001 up 1001, relax 1001 up 1001 and relax 1001. One more time. Up 1001 and relax 1001. Really good. So we're going to stay in this position because we're going to do exactly the same thing that we just did, but now we're going to add a little bit of oomph to it, right? Because we did a very light isometric, everything should feel like you could start to engage some of these muscles, right? Or if you're on your back, you felt the top of the thigh. And if you're on your stomach, you felt some of these hip muscles and the hamstring muscles. But now what we're going to do is we're going to add 10 to 15% of your ability. So each one of these are going to escalate in your ability. So follow along with my instruction. So from here, we're going to take this about, from 10%, we're going to engage it to only about 20%, right? So lightly push up, 1001, 1002, and then slowly relax. Now we're going to take that 10% and we're going to ramp it to about 50%. And slowly up with that 10%, now ramp it up to about 50% of your ability into that belt, and then slowly relax. Really good. Now we're going to take that to about 70% of your ability. And slowly up 10% and ramp it up, 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 and then slowly back down. Now we're going to take it one step further to about 80 to 90%. And then slowly bring it up, 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 and then slowly back down. Now we're going to take it to 90 to close to maximal. Ready? And slowly up, Slowly up, build, 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 more, and slowly back down. And this time we're going to take it until you can't push any harder, but it's got to be a slow ramp up. So gradually, that 10%, so nice and easy, gradual, and start pushing into that, pushing into it harder, 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 harder. Come on, give me everything you got. Push more, and now slowly let off. We got one more of those. Doing a great job. And then 10%. Gradually build, 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 and relax. Really good, really good. Now you're going to take this belt off, and it's kind of like our little relax period. Or that's why I like the blanket or the sheet more, is because it covers more of you, right? Rather than just this belt, and you can cocoon yourself up, kind of like when you're a kid and you wanted to be nice and warm under the covers, right? But that's what's nice about a sheet too, because it's not quite so hot, right? So unless you're King Kong and you're going to rip out of it. So now that we have it set up, now we're just going to see how well it moves. See if it moves a little freer, see if it moves a little bit better. So now I'm going to bring it up. Now my range of motion is just about doubled from where it was before, and it feels super easy. And I'm just going to challenge it to spin right within the socket. Still feels a little fatigued. One more. Really good, really good. Now I want you to challenge one more range of motion, and then we're going to take that into our exercises, okay? So I'm going to take this into the leg lift, because I definitely sucked at the leg lift. So I'm going to get better at me leg lifting my right side. And I'll do it here so you can see it a little bit better, to show you just how little I'm moving, right? Getting it nice and snug, right? Get those nice lines in my pants. So now from here, I'm going to lightly push up with 10% of my ability with the leg that I want to challenge. So I'm going to lightly push up and then relax. And lightly push up and relax. Lightly push up and relax. Now stay with me on this count. Up 1001, down 1001. Up 1001, down 1001. Up 1001, relax 1001. Up 1001, relax 1001. Up 1001, relax 1001. Up 1001, relax 1001. And up 1001, relax 1001. Okay? I'm going to relax a little bit, and we're going to take that 10% into about 25% of your ability. So from here, gradually ramp it up to about 20%, and let it down. Now we're going to take it to around 50%. Ramp it up to about 50%, 1001, 1002, and then relax. Now we're going to take it to around 75% of your ability. And slowly up, 1001, 1002, 1003, and then slowly relax. Now I want you to take it to around 80 to 90% of your ability. And up, 1001, 1002, 1003, and slowly relax. And now we're going to take it to around 90% to 100. And slowly up, 1001, and stop bringing it. That's it. Start pushing, 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 and relax. Really good. We're going to go maximal for 2. And slowly bring it up in a position and start shoving. That's it. Start shoving harder, 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 and relax. You got one more. And slowly shove up. And now bring it. That's it. Give me everything that you got. Push it, 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 and then relax. Really good. And from here, relax the leg, relax the body, so that we can then explore that leg to see if it's gotten better. That motion is now pretty smooth. Let me just do a couple more just to explore with it, just to see how it moves, to trust it. Really good. Now that we've done two, go and stand back up on your feet. Now we're gonna take this into that stance again. I want you to feel if you are a little bit more centered. I want you to feel the feet. And I want you to feel the positioning of the feet on the ankles, and then the ankles under the knees, and then the knees up to the hips, and the hips with the spine, and the spine with the neck, and then the spine with the shoulders. Make sure that you just feel what part of your feet are actually working. And from here, slowly look down to feel the ball of your foot. And then slowly look up to feel the heels. Good, really good. Now we're going to try something against the wall. So I'm going to turn this. And if you have a place, of empty wall, you can definitely utilize this. We just have two separate exercises that we're going to do against, actually, sorry, let me rephrase it. Three separate exercises we're going to do against the wall. And let's do this so you can actually see me. First thing that we're going to do is something pretty traditional. And I'm going to add a little twist to it. So the first thing we're going to do is just a classic squat against the wall. So I just want you to find a spot where you're kind of pushing lightly against the wall, and your feet are going to be about hip width apart. You're just going to push lightly into the wall, and I want you to feel these quads working. And I want you to feel like your feet are trying to shove this way. You're trying to shove your feet this way, getting friction on the floor lightly. And if you don't have friction on the floor, I want to make sure that that you're just balanced. Make sure that you're balanced. As I take this off of the screen, as you can't see anything. So now we're just gonna get that light feeling of the quads instead of getting super deep to start, right? So we're gonna push ourselves against the wall and then kind of relax a little bit. And then push ourselves against the wall and relax. And push ourselves against the wall and relax. And push ourselves against the wall like I'm driving this way and relax. So if the feet are going this way, I'm getting shoved that way. Push yourself against the wall and relax. And push yourself against the wall and relax. Now go ahead and stand up to give your legs a little bit of relaxing. And from here, with your body against the wall, I want you going to calf raise and back down. So now we're supported back against the wall, raise up and down. And up as high as you can and down. Up as high as you can, really come up and down. And up, raise up, raise up, raise up, raise up, and down. and up, raise up, down, 2 more. Raise up, down, we got 1 more. Raise up, and down, good. Now from here, we're gonna work the front of the shin. So we're gonna have slightly bent knees rather than straight knees, slightly bent. And what I want you to do is I want you just to lift the toes up and hold. You just hold them there. And I want you to explore wiggling your big toe with the toes up off the ground. Now the little toes. Now with the toes up off the ground and the feet up, with just the heels touching, curl the toes and lift the toes up. Curl the toes, 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 lift the toes up. And curl the toes, lift the toes up. And then relax it. Really good. We're going to go through the series just one more time. And this time, I want you to feel like you can explore some of the depths of the wall squat. So I want you to challenge yourself. If you need to come back up, you can always come back up. And if you want to protect your wall, you can use the same sheet you started with. So you can easily slide up and down on the wall and it won't leave any scuff marks. So it's really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a little deeper of a squat position with my feet almost right underneath me. And I can bring my feet even further in if I want, but that's really hard right there. So I'm just going to get in this position right here. And if I want to come up a little bit and relax, I can. And then I'm going to sit down into it for a little bit and feel those quads working. And slowly raise up a little bit and back down to get those quads working some more. And up a little bit and down, getting those quads working some more. Up a little bit, and down, get those quads working some more. And up a little bit. Really keep those quads working. About 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back up. Awesome. Now we're going for those calf raises all the way up. Control it down and up and down. My left side's almost cramping. And up. Got to work on those calves. And down. And everything else. Up. All the way up. All the way up. And down. Give me 2 more. All the way up. And down. 1 more. All the way up. And down. You're going to bend the knees. You slowly raise the feet up. Back down. And then feet up again. And just notice the toes and the top of the foot if you're wearing shoes, the top of the foot into the shoe if you're not wearing shoes. Just notice maybe the sock if you're wearing socks on the top of your foot. And now squeeze the toes, lift the toes up, squeeze the toes, lift the toes up, squeeze the toes, lift the toes up, squeeze the toes, lift the toes up. Give me 2 more. Squeeze the toes, lift the toes up. Squeeze the toes, lift the toes up. 1 more. Squeeze the toes and lift the toes up. Really awesome job, guys. Now I want you to find that center position. Find that center position. And I just want you to feel that balance again for the last part of this. So feel the feet on the ground. You should feel really grounded right now. You should feel like the feet are anchored, almost like they want to be even closer together, and you just feel super, super balanced through each foot, but they feel like everything is level and you feel like everything is equal. Just notice that with the feet. Really, really good. Really good. All right. Oh, for some reason I have 3 minutes left on my my counter. All right. So I wanted to say before this message gets cut off that with the belt and the range of motion, it's a very, very effective tool to feeling like adding a lot more awareness to a joint and a lot more strength to maybe a shaky range of motion. Keep it super, super light. Keep it restrained so it's not going really, really far. Like whether it's an arm or a leg, it doesn't really matter. You can always use something to surround the body to shove into, or even a wall for light pushes in order to feel like I need my shoulder to get a little bit stronger coming up. Well, I just get next to a wall and lightly shove my arm into the wall, super, super light while I'm standing, or even using gravity when I'm on my back, lightly lifting the arm, right? So there's all these different positions that we can utilize for that.